And welcome back to the HCS Pro League Fall 2017 season. Elamite and T2 at the Xfinity desk, getting ready to bring you the third match of the night. Of course, that's going to be Envy battling Ronin here. But before we jump into that, let's take a moment to hear from L-Town in the latest Xfinity Speed session.
Hey, what's up guys? This is L-Town from Ronin Esports' Halo team. Like a physical therapist or whatever, because that's what I studied in college. That would have to be me. I used to run track in high school, so I'll accept any challengers. I went to States for playing the violin. If I could date a teammate, I'll just say Suspector. It's because we've been through a lot, and he's the goofiest. That would have to be X Games. You know, never thought that we'd go to Aspen and compete for a medal. I would have to say like roster change period, because you know one day you could just not be on a team anymore, and then it's just completely stressful and finding out what to do. I like to work out and like make sure I get like a nice healthy meal before like a pro league match. I would go to Mikwin, you know, former teammates, and we always bump heads, so it's always fun to, you know, outshoot them. That would be either me or Sabinator, because we both just fly at everybody. Map would have to be Regret, because I used to drop the most 20 bombs on that map. And then game mode, I would have to say Strongholds. Takes the most thinking. Definitely go with Camo. You could backsmack an overshield guy with Camo, but you can't do it like reverse.
Pretty sure that you can backwhack a Camo guy if you are overshield.
Oh, I think he means.
I know what he means. I'm just messing around.
Yep.
Another thing.
It shouldn't happen.
They choose Suspector because Suspector is very, very good looking and pretty.
He's a very handsome man.
He's a very handsome man. He's got one, you know, I could see why he would choose Suspector, you know, I get it. He's a cutie.
All right, Tom. Well, I'm glad that we were able to clear that up. But I mean, L-Town, you heard it from him there. He's his arch nemesis. If he had to choose one, he loves outshooting Mikwin, and now he's going to get his opportunity.
He was rubbing it in right there, and I'm surprised to see a little trash talk coming in from L-Town. He's feeling really confident, and that's what I like to see coming from these guys. And one of the things that is really surprising is to see someone like L-Town who has a different background in other type of sports. Like you said, he ran track. He's played the violin as well, so I want to see him running on the track, playing the violin at the same time, and see how good he's at both of them.
Yeah, and we had a lot of people that claim they're the fastest ones here in the HCS. So maybe one day
that would be great. The one thing you don't want to do is you don't want to be Ghost Sayami and run on the beach. Otherwise, you are going to mess up your leg and your knee, and he proved that to us at Daytona.
Yeah, there's a couple good Ghost Sayami stories, but we won't touch base on those quite yet because we're talking about the next match up, and that's going to be Team Envyus going up against Ronin Esports. Now, we did just hear from a member of Ronin, but let's go ahead and flip the page and talk a little bit about this Envyus squad that has been performing so well here in the Pro League. 85.7% map win rate here. They are our #1 team in the Pro League right now. And keep in mind, the last time Envyus was #1 was fall season, and they actually won that event, taking down Optic Gaming.
Yeah, Envy, they are playing out of their minds. It's going to be a very, very difficult series for Ronin. But if you are taking anything from today, take away that Naventic, they fought Optic Gaming extremely hard. So taking a look at this guy, Pistola, he is one person that you have to stop. But there are so many deadly people on this Envy team. It is impossible to highlight just one of them. You have insane experience coming in from Snipe Down, Ola, and Mikwin. And then you have Hook, who is just phenomenal all around. Great shot, great objective work, good teamwork and communication as well. If you're on the other side and you're Ronin, you're dealing with a team change. You had Sabinator added recently. You also had Nemesis added recently. Straight Sick is out. Nemesis is in. These are your game types that you're going to see right now, starting it off with Empire Strongholds again. So one of those game types where you cannot afford to allow the pit to be taken from under your nose. We've seen it so many times today. It's important to not be out of position. What does that mean by being out of position? It means being too far on the outside or in security, or even on the side bases where you're going and you're not looking towards the pit when you don't have any grenades. You have to be there to contest. You have to have bodies in there, and you have to be in position to slay the players out as they go in there and they try to milk that time. That is the keys to victory here. And I'm curious to see again, L-Town, he talked about how he wanted the camouflage over here. Is Ronin going to be going for the camouflage more than they are going to be going for the overshield here in this instance? Personally, I'm going to still take the overshield over the camo, but I know that it changes and varies from team to team and from player to player.
Yeah, I'm hoping we see L-Town and Mikwin fight each other over in security.
And one has camouflage and one has overshield.
Yeah, we'll have everyone else put their controllers down, and Mikwin, no, I'm just kidding. But we are getting ready to jump into the first game. That is Empire Strongholds, one of the fastest paced games that we have here in the Pro League. Tom, do you have any predictions for us this series?
I'm going to go with a 3-0 in favor of Envy. I just think that they're too darn strong. I know that there's the rivalry between Mikwin and L-Town. I know that they made a team change recently, and we saw how tough it is to play against a team that you haven't had much experience for. But I just feel like these guys are too disciplined in blue, and while they're playing on the red side, but the boys in blue, the guys on Envy, they are the #1 seed for a reason. This Pro League has their name written all over. We're going to see if Ronin can play spoiler. They're going to have a good start going on over and taking the pit. No side bases have been captured yet, so no points going on the board, but it is going to be Ronin getting the first points on the board as they captured Envy's base. So Envy, they're going to take blue. Meanwhile, Ronin, they're going to take red, and Snipedown still hasn't found his imprint on the map quite yet, trying to find out where these players are. Gets one kill on a Suspector right there, but not much doing. 3 dead temporarily coming in for Ronin. L-Town's going to be the last guy alive. We're going to see if Envy's going to be able to put the bodies inside the pit, but they can't because of the grenades coming in from the players off spawn.
Ooh, and Suspector, I liked him going for the side base, but he just elected to kind of over-challenge there. Now Pit is quickly being taken by Envyus. Great back smack comes in here by L-Town. It's not going to be enough, as finally we're seeing Envy now put some points here on the board. Only 13 points going over to Ronin. They had that overshield to open this one up. Nemesis did a great job there, focusing and using that overshield to control Pit. Ooh, great stick comes out as Suspector. He grabs himself 2 kills and stays alive. That is a big win here from Ronin to get them right back into this one.
That's huge. They got to get that pit retaken though, and they're already started a little bit. You could see just a quarter of the way. The reset going to come back in. Not enough slays doing on the side of Ronin though, because it was responded right back from Envy. So here it is, Kyle, that overshield in camo coming up here soon. You do see both sides of the map in control by Envy. They have outside, they have security. So Suspector, he goes for the sneaky play and charges inside the pit where these players aren't looking, and it works out for them. Ronin, they retake the pit right as the overshield and the camo are coming up. Envy, they set up just a little bit too early, and they zoned in a little bit too hard. Yes, Pistola, he's gonna get that camo over towards security, and Snipedown is going to get the overshield, but if they can't retake this pit, it's not going to mean much.
Yeah, we'll see if they're able to do that. Looks like they will be able to. That overshield and Hook in there with the plasma pistol quickly puts that back in their control. So either way, we did have a little bit of a lead change. It's going to go back over in Envyus' favor here in just a moment. But Ronin, you know, they're starting this one off strong. We'll see what the second half of the game has in store here, but either way, this one's going to be good.
Yeah, that's a good start coming out for these guys, not going down, not getting any triple caps against you, anything like that. They're playing it smart, going down there and taking the pit. As we were talking about, when Envy had full control, is not an easy thing to do. That takes a lot of coordination, and they were able to pull it off. They're also going for the other strategy that you were talking about, Kyle, is going for the opposite side bases. But Envy, they are on top of the rotation already. They capture red base, and now they are going to rotate and try to start to defend pit. Meanwhile, Nemesis, he's in a big 1v1 against Pistola, but reinforcements are coming from 2 different angles, so he is completely caught out of position after that. And that's what makes Ola so deadly. Sometimes it's not even about your shot, it's just about not challenging, calling it out for your teammates, and then they come and respond, and you don't even have to do anything.
Yeah, and look at Pistola, just getting free shots down on players. He does get taken no shields, but either way, nobody else left in position here from Ronin to clean up that kill. Last 2 members alive were over here towards blue base, and rather than just controlling the hills, Envyus, they want to play aggressive. They want to hold these triple caps. They want to keep Ronin on spawn.
And this is where you start to get worried if you're Ronin. You did such a good job up to this point not getting yourself into this situation, and now you're forced with it, and it's a tough spot to be in. Very similar to before where Envy has control when the power-ups are coming up, and we saw the positioning last time that Envy was in. This time they didn't make that mistake. They are not spread thin here. They are grouped together. They are baiting and switching and doing the objective at the same time. Eventually you're going to see them rotate for positioning as well. Pistola, there it is, getting that red base last tick so they can go and get that triple cap. Meanwhile, Hook's going to get the overshield, and Camo I think will eventually go on over to Nemesis, but I wouldn't even be surprised if Envy didn't have everything at this point.
Yeah, I mean, you've got Ronin. They're just rushing for these side bases best they can. Looks like they came off a little bit of a split spawn there, so they are able to secure red base. Blue base is still a big point of contesting here for both teams. Looks like Envy does grab a reset there. Ronin did a great job focusing you know, putting focus in bottom mid, but it wasn't enough. Envyus has some great defense and continuing to build upon this lead.
Ola just, what is that, abracadabra'd all those people inside of the pit, just dropping the death spell on everybody while staying alive. Very impressive stuff from Ola. Again, that's what makes him such a deadly player. He stays alive in situations where he shouldn't. Right there, gets flanked, and the back smack does come in. Eventually, you're going to see Ronin flood on over towards the pit, and that's exactly what they're doing. Meanwhile, Mikwin, he's in a great position, dropping his Nemesis right there in L-Town, even maybe looking for Nemesis, who's probably inside of the pit, and that's going to be Suspector, actually, who's eventually going to fall to a back smack. The reset coming in, and that's going to be L-Town coming off of spawn, trying to get Mikwin, but Mikwin still staying alive over here. Perfect kill coming in from Snipe Down and Envy. They are executing their bait and switches so well, Kyle. It has to be very frustrating for Ronin to let all these one-shots get away.
Yeah, I mean, and it's a little scary here for Ronin as well, because we've seen such close series so far here today, but Envy is the team that has been able to consistently prove they are the best, at least at this moment right now, the best online team that we have here in the league with what they've been able to do to Liquid, Splice, and Optic Gaming.
And look at Mikwin. He stays alive in that situation with a thrust to take down or help take down 2 players. Yes, you do get the pit back if you're Ronin, but now it has to be virtually perfect Halo. That's a great start. Perfect shots right there onto Snipe Down, but Suspector, he's going to get stuck by Hook. Nemesis going to answer that one right back. L-Town, meanwhile, he does not get the overshield that they desperately needed, and meanwhile, Pit is still being contested by Envy, so it's only going to take one more stronghold to be captured if you're Envy to end this game, and then you just keep a player in there to contest it overall. And it looks like they're going to go for the side bases, so as long as they do this and then they pressure the middle right now, Ronin's not going to have enough people on the map to stop Envy, and Envy knows that. They played the end of that one virtually perfectly, and they are going to take game number 1 in style, 100-35.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest margins of victory that we've seen here today. One of the first times we've seen one team really kind of stand out from the rest of the pack. And, you know, no surprise that it's coming out of Envy, the only undefeated team we have left here in the league. But this Ronin squad here, even with the new addition of Nemesis, just wasn't able to come out and perform as well as we've seen from the likes of the other squads here. Taking a look at the stats, Pistola, the guy we highlighted before this match started, 20-8, still with 10 assists. So he's putting up Shotzzy-like numbers here for this squad now.
And 6 stronghold captured, 5 secured, 5 defenses. Ridiculous stat line coming in from Ola, 15.3 KDA. Everybody just slaying to perfection on the side of Envy. Yes, they did allow some points to go on the board for Ronin, but the way that they were able to retake control and just kind of manhandle the situations that were presented in front of them was very impressive to start. As expected, again, Envy playing at a very high level. Meanwhile, Ronin, they still had their team change and a couple of kinks to work out there, but game number 2 coming up, gonna have to reset if you're on the side of Ronin. Again, there's not much that you can do against a squad. You got to give them credit right there. There's Empire Stronghold. Sometimes it's just not in your cards to win that game because it is one of the most disciplined game types. It's so hard to retake, and all of these players and teams are so skilled that you don't get many opportunities. A lot of other maps and game types present different opportunities, and I'm expecting Game 2 to fare a little bit better for Ronin.
Speaking of Game 2, that's going to be Slayer Truth here. One, we've seen Envy perform extremely well. I pointed out the last fall finals, last time we had Envyus in our #1 seeded pro league, and sure enough, it was the second series, game number 7, where we saw Envyus essentially blow Optic Gaming out of the water there with a 35 victory on True Slayer. So we know these guys can perform, and these guys love Truth. You got Mickwins and Snipedowns, guys that come from the midship days, where this map is kind of loosely based off of the symmetrical, the lines of sight.
Looks pretty similar to it. I mean, I don't know.
Definitely.
I feel like they may have based it off of that map.
It definitely is somewhat based off of that map. I will give you that.
One thing to watch out for, though, is the new addition to this squad, Nemesis, in this game type. Again, at the Beyond the Sticks event, which I believe is going to premiere on Mixer on September 27th. Could have the date wrong. Could be a little bit earlier, a day or two earlier or later, but definitely around that week, I think next week. Dropped 27 kills. 27. I'm going to say that one more time. 27 kills against Envy at the Beyond the Sticks event. I mean, 6-0 start. That's not how you start getting 27 kills on the board, but it could potentially happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a possibility here, but this opening start over to Envy heavily. They got a lot of kills here. They got control of the camo and stayed alive with it. That was Pistola here jumping around on your screen. You can see him right in front of Snipedown here. And of course, Sabinator not spotting that player, gets double teamed, and now puts his team in a real bad position as Envy recognizes the numbers advantage is starting to collapse.
This is ugly. Everybody is spread out so far on Ronin right now, and everybody in position for Envy has a 2-on-1 situation because of the spawns are staggered now on the opposite side of the map towards the red side. So they got to take out Nemesis, who's being a nuisance over here in this bubble area. Great play just to get out of there and run towards his teammates. Pistola eventually dropping him with some damage coming in from Snipedown and from Book there. So great teamwork coming in from Envy. But I really liked that play and thought process. That was really the only play for Ronin to go and try to open up this map a little bit, and it did. You can see they answered right back with 2 kills, potentially 3, as Pistola may drop towards bottom center.
Oh, big win coming out of Pistola here.
Just kidding, it's Pistola. I forgot.
Yep, you forget that is the Wizard, and he does not go down easily here. 13-6, so Ronin showing some signs of life. Get back into this one here. Nemesis did an amazing job staying alive in the bubble there. Yeah, he didn't get any kills. Did get cleaned up by Pistola immediately following that, but he kept 2 players, Snipedown and Hook, distracted for so long, buying so much extra time for his teammates to spawn and get back into position.
Mickwin's just going to hold this bubble down until the camo's popping up, and that's the big key here. Locking down an area, making sure you're owning real estate, and then pressing together over towards the pink side. So he's buying time for Hook to now make his way down towards P1. Right around that 45-second mark, Hook's going to grab it, and he gets away with his life. So great support coming in from Mickwin, who may not be known as, you know, a support type of player, but has really integrated different play styles into his game to make himself a very, very strong overall player. I don't know if you could really point at any weaknesses in Mickwin's game, really.
Wow, and Hook gets that sticky with camo here and then puts some additional damage down on a player on Ronin sitting at P2. So Hook, we've seen him do this multiple times. What comes to mind immediately is his play. I can't remember who it was against exactly, but he was up towards Nest on Eden, jumps up, sticks a player, picks up a second kill after he thrusts forward, dodging the grenade damage there from his own sticky, and then, of course, winning that game there. So 19-12 lead, maintaining the same lead that they kind of had off the start of this one, and if anything, now Ronin getting their chance to try to close the gap a little bit here.
Not bad. I mean, 6 kills, something that you can totally make up here. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the stats and see who's kind of pulling the weight over here on the Ronin side, and it's very evenly matched up. Sabinator a little slow right now at 3 and 8, so expecting him to kind of pick it up here very shortly. Meanwhile, on the Envy side, again, very even across the board. You have 7 kills for Pistola, 7 for Mickwin. Hook and Snipedown combined, they have 10, so not too far off on the Envy side. Everybody kind of spreading the kills and spreading the love over there, but they got to start tightening the grip just a little bit because they've allowed Ronin to get in a little bit more than they would have liked. I mean, based on this start, Kyle, it could have been an easy steak dinner here. Instead, Ronin, they're hanging right in there. And that's really all you can ask for as the underdog is L-Town with a ridiculous triple kill right there, really opening up the map for the rest of his team to push on over towards the pink side. Suspector, he doesn't realize that all these players are coming from behind him quite yet. And there it is, nice hit marker right there onto Hook, but has to keep his shield, so smart move to back down right there. Nobody predicting that he was going to clamber up on over towards the Eli. Now Pistola not even responding to that call out either because too much pressure was being added. So a great opportunity here for Ronin to do something, but Sabinator not able to win that 1v1 against Snipe Down, and now Envy turns back and has the numbers in their favor.
And I think that was L-Town here. Yeah, it was L-Town that escaped with the camo here. So if there's any time to get back into this one, it happens right now. We cannot allow the largest lead of the game here for Envy to come past that halfway mark. They need to start closing this gap here, and we'll see L-Town get some good damage down on players, but as you can see in that kill feed there, several of his teammates still being taken out. Sabinator gets dropped. I think it was Nemesis right before that, and just like that, L-Town not able to get any kills with that camo, and that was just 3 dead here for Ronin once again.
Not looking good here for Ronin. They need to get it together, and they need to get it together now. There's not much time left in this game before Envy really starts to put the hurting on. Being on over towards this bubble area is not the spot that L-Town wants to be. He has to push inside of a base right here. Sabinator, they have a base under control. Red is completely locked down, but Suspector, he's dying on over towards Car 1. Now L-Town, he's going to die, and the rest of his teammates are trying to save him here, which I don't think it's really the right move. They should be rotating on over towards the pink side. I do like this play from L-Town to get out of there and try to respond to calls that are weak on over towards the base. So this flank really starting to work out. Great double kill coming in from him. But now they have to rotate on over towards the pink, looking for his second triple kill of the game. Not able to find it. Big key though, Kyle. Where are those players going to come off the respawn? Opposite of L-Town and away from danger over towards Sabinator's side. So now Sabinator completely caught out of position, and they have to get over there to help him.
Yeah, great heads up play by L-Town as well, shooting that plasma grenade that was sitting top center. Get some damage down on Hook. Not enough to finish off the kill, but definitely something anyone at home watching should try to implement into their own gameplay there. Pistola just winning another big 1v1 kill, 42-28. So we're coming down towards the end. This one is not going to be as close as Ronin might have been hoping. Not out of it quite yet, but if Envy continues this play that we've been seeing from them, this is going to be scary for Ronin.
Not looking good, as we said, for Ronin. It is close to being a steak dinner, as we previously were highlighting. It was just a great start from Envy. You start off the game on, what, a 7-1 run. You're giving yourself such a good position to go and just try to trade kills, or at least just make a little bit of a run. And not only did they do that, they made a big run towards the tail end of this game. Everybody now trapped inside of blue base for Ronin. They're going to try to take down Mikwin, but as Mikwin notices 3 guys are there, the rest of the collapse from Envy is going to be short thereafter. So Mikwin just baiting out the entire squad, and they said, hey guys, we can't kill this guy. We got to run away.
Yeah, that was not very often do you see 3 people sitting hand in hand, carbine side of the base when the enemy team is in bubble.
I mean, Suspector and L-Town, they could have been holding hands over there. You never know.
Yeah, maybe they were, but either way, I mean, you had Pistola and Mikwin essentially pushed 3 players back, hiding carbine side of the map. Mikwin was already no shields the whole time before he jumped into bubble the first time. So that was just amazing bait and switch action once again coming out from Envy. This Envy squad is ridiculous. Pistola, we highlighted him before the match, but I didn't think he'd be performing this well here today. 19-9, another big performance out of him with a lot of assists as well. That's something that, you know, what we saw in the Splice series, Shotzi, yeah, he had the numbers. He didn't have like no assists, but not the same number of assists that we keep seeing here from Pistola.
Yeah, just fantastic series from Pistola. He's really having himself a series, and I'm expecting him to continue to keep up this type of pace. When you go and you look at this Envy squad again, that's what makes them so scary, very similar to Optic, is that they are so individually skilled and they're so experienced in these situations. You have to beat them on so many different levels, and I just don't think Ronin's quite there yet.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely got a big obstacle to overcome now to get back into this one, being down 0-2 in the series, something we haven't seen too much here today. Some of the biggest score differentials that we've seen so far here today. A lot of surprises happening, but no surprise here. Envyus, they are clearly one of our top, if not the best team in the entire world right now, and they're showing that here against this Ronin lineup.
Yeah, that was, I mean, that was a filet, a New York strip steak. We'll have to ask them in the interview because they're most likely going to close this series out how they like their steak, because that was just impressive. The way that they were able to just control the flow of the game. That's what's the beautiful thing when you're a high-level team and you're in a game that you losing never crosses your mind. And that is such a great feeling for these guys on Envy right now, where they're just going through the motions of playing and they're engaged and they're focused, but yet at the same time, never are they worried in this series because of how well they're playing and how well they practice up to this moment. So they're going to continue to impose their will and just dominate these lesser teams like Ronin. And this is what we were kind of expecting from Optic Gaming, which worries me for the side of Optic, where you have Naventic, who maybe they got the better of the team change, most likely based on what we saw how Prototype played today with the squad. Meanwhile, Envy, they're mopping up the team who's ranked higher than Naventic.
Yeah, I mean, definitely really good points to bring up as well, as we're starting this one off with Suspector. The man L-Town would date if he had to, and we'll see how this one plays out. One kill going over to both sides here. Pistola dies. Ooh, great grenades here. Suspector actually able to nade that sniper rifle back towards himself and escape with it. So Suspector, we haven't seen him sniping a lot here in this Pro League. We'll see how he's able to put this weapon to use against this Envy lineup.
Ooh, that was very close to being a headshot. Nonetheless, nice shot from Suspector. So what you got to do, though, if you are... It's really unfortunate because I was just going to talk these guys up on Ronin as he ends up dropping. But I was going to say that's what you have to do going up against Envy, is little things to get the weapons before they can. And unfortunately, they get the weapons, but they don't get the rockets and they don't get the flag like they wanted to. And that rocket is going to punish Sabinator as he goes and tries to get that return. Flag number 1 going on over to Envy, 59 seconds into this game.
Oh, just great teamwork here coming out of Envy's. It's actually pretty ridiculous the more you look at it and just watch it happen. Midcoin gets taken no shields by Suspector, who shoots him top catwalk.
And he just dodges a grenade that lands on him when he's no shield. Like, that grenade would have hit me 1,000 times out of 1,000 times.
That frag, when those frags just stick to you all the time.
Yeah, and then this time against, this is what happens. You know, when you're putting yourself in a really great position and you're playing very well, sometimes the game just works in your favor. And you saw right there, Mikwin, he's getting a headshot on a guy that's virtually around the corner. It's still going to register. He's going to dodge grenades when it looks like they potentially could hit him. And he's going to go and throw a grenade out that randomly gets a double kill. Not randomly, he heard the call out and he saw that guy popping up on the radar. But some things, you know, when things are not going your way, they're really not going your way. And when they are, they really are. And Envy, they are just continuing to add the pressure on Ronin. What do you do, Kyle, if you're Ronin at this point?
Yeah, that's a really good question here. There's definitely a lot of back to the drawing board here for this Ronin lineup. They do have some power weapons, but Mikwin, he grabs himself yet another kill. That flag's already being moved once again. Looks like Suspector, last guy alive to contest this, but Mikwin, we just saw him push in aggressively in to help get a flagpole. Now he flies back home, gets a kill, takes another player to his shields, and helps secure a second flag.
Gotta go on to L-Town because we are on Goose Alert.
Uh-oh.
Oh, there it is.
Nice.
You're welcome,
You
L-Town.
saved him.
You are so welcome, man. That just, you know, just proves the caster curse is real.
That was the opposite of a caster.
No, because, I mean, I don't know about you, but
So you're rooting
I'm
against
rooting
L-Town.
for the goose.
Okay.
It's not L-Town. It's not L-Town. I just love a good goose.
That's
all.
true. Everybody likes eggs, especially in the morning here. We're a little late in the evening. We'll see how this one continues to play out. Sabinator gets himself a sticky kill there. But this is just more great defense here coming out of Envy. You can see 2 players working together over towards Red Cave, and then they just immediately melt Sabinator as he pops out there.
Ouch. Sabinator probably thought he was closer than the sniper rifle than he actually was. That's an opportunity to throw that off there. L-Town, he's going to turn the sniper rifle on over to Mikwin. Mikwin may make him pay for that, and he does, ripping off Sabinator's face for the killing frenzy. Ridiculous no-scope there coming in from Mikwin. Now Pistola trying to take over that map, that part of the map where his teammates just died from. I'm going to go ahead and just take a look at the stats really quick. Mikwin has the most kills in the game right now, currently sitting at 10. Meanwhile, Pistola, Snipe Down, and Hoop combined 17. So a lot of slaying coming in from Mikwin.
Yeah, Mikwin always being that anchor here for this squad, putting up insane stats. Most of the time we're seeing him and Snipe Down kind of take turns there. Hook's probably the most aggressive one that we see here from this Envyus lineup. Tom, is there anything unusual about the stats sticking out to you, at this point here? Anything else going on as far as breadstick alerts?
No breadstick alerts. You think you may have jinxed that one, but you got to give it to Envy. You can't take anything away from Ronin right now. Ronin, they're trying, they're fighting through this. They can't get any footing in this series. And that's why we highlight the beginnings of the series for the underdogs. They're so important because when you give confidence to these top teams, they are going to run away with the series. You have to pick them apart. You have to capitalize on opportunities, and you can't make mistakes. And it starts from the very initial spawn. It starts from the beginning strategies in every single life and death that you have after that. Envy, they are just on another level right now. Not just ahead of Ronin, but against all of these other teams within the top 5 through 8. They are really imposing their will. And again, that's what makes it a very scary moment for the rest of the squads. The other squads need to be watching this and saying, okay, we need to be dominating teams like they are dominating teams. They have it in them. They just haven't been able to put it together quite yet. Now Envy's running this third and final cap, and I don't see anyone in position to stop this one. Nemesis, he came off spawn, he died immediately. Sabinator, it's desperate, it's a grenade, but it's not much. Victory going on over to Envy. They win the series and the game 3-0.
Yeah, very convincing series. Envyus proving why they are our #1 team here in the North American Pro League. And we'll take a look at the stats momentarily, but that was just Envy running away with it. Even towards the end of that game, they were running, I think they ran that flag all the way across the map with no more than 1 to 2 members of Ronin alive the entire time, putting them all 4 down a couple times during that as well. Mickwin gets a double kill with those rockets. Snipedown got at least 2 snipe shots, or snipe kills there towards the end as well. So Mickwin and Snipedown definitely leading the pack here in this game, number 3, Coliseum CTF. Amazing overall performance. Envy, the only real convincing win that we've seen so far.
So I believe combined you had 25 kills coming out from Ronin. Meanwhile, you had 14 power weapon kills alone coming in from Envy. That is scary when they almost have as many kills as you did just with the power weapons alone in the entire game. They elongated that at least to 5.5 minutes, but that was a scary, scary Envy team. And Ronin, they could not find anything. They were not even given anything. They had to take it, and unfortunately for them, just not ready to face off against the #1 team that we have here in the fall season.
Yeah, 14-1 as far as overall power weapon kills. This is heavily weighted in their favor. It's hard to imagine anything going right for them that game. As far as flag grabs go, it was 4-1 as well. So yeah, Ronin did get into the enemy team's base or into Envy's base, but Envy did capitalize on 3 of their 4 flag grabs, which just shows you how efficient they are there.
All right, it looks like we have an interview. This time it's going to be Snipedown. Snipedown, can you hear us?
I can hear you loud and clear.
All right, so you're in a new spot. Things look a little bit differently. I see a lot of Pokemon. I see a green. I see a green screen.
Right back there. That's the girlfriend's wall.
I feel like you're living with a female.
It's a good guess. I am out here in Canada now.
All right. So how was the move for you? Did it take away from any of the practice? And how are you feeling after that series?
Feeling great after the series, and the move actually ended up happening at a perfect time because we had the 2.5 weeks off, 3 weeks off, whatever, from Pro League. So ended up working out very well, and we moved in, got everything built up, all that IKEA furniture, and good to go.
All right, so your hand's good. Everything's okay with that. You're able to even be a little bit of handyman with the furniture?
Yeah, hand has definitely been a lot better since it was previously near Atlanta. So I'm happy to say the stretches and everything I've been doing is helping out. So very, very happy.
All right, let's highlight the series a little bit. A very, very convincing win from you guys right from the get-go. Now, one of the things that I've always talked about is how important it is for the underdog teams to go out and establish some sort of footing in a series. They were not able to do that at all. Is that something that you guys are focusing on, really imposing your will against these teams that you should be beating?
Absolutely. I think one of the biggest things, like we talked about early on in Pro League, was the fact that we used to come out really slow, even at tournaments. That was an issue. And in scrims in Pro League, and it carries over to Pro League, we go like 110% in scrims, the first, at least 5-6 games, just to make sure that we come out hot, because that's what a series is at a tournament. So it's definitely been helping us out. And I think we're just very happy with how each other are playing and working well together. And I think this is probably the best that we've played in a long time.
Yeah, I was saying, or I brought it up multiple times, the last time we've seen Envyus playing this well and sitting at the #1 spot in Pro League, you guys actually came out and continued that domination, taking the fall finals there. Is that kind of what we might be expecting this time around as well here? Because you saw that first Optic Gaming series against Naventic. They did not look like the same form we've seen them in the past.
Yeah, I know they've been having a hard time getting some scrims this past couple weeks. There's been a little few miscommunications, I suppose. But I think, honestly, we are just very proud of how we've been playing. It was a big issue last Pro League when we lost early on to both, I think, Liquid, or we lost to Optic early and then we lost to Liquid later, and it just kind of took the wind out of us. And it's all about momentum. Everyone talks about momentum and mentality, and that's really where we've been focusing on. And we're on a very positive mindset. Sometimes we, take a break and we have some issues, but we iron those out real quick.
And so what is that in the background as well? Is that a green wall I'm looking at?
I got what is it? Go punch it up? No, it's just a green screen. I'm trying to figure out. My girlfriend uses that to stream. I might end up getting one of my own. I got to get a little background. This isn't too manly behind me, but I rock with Pokemon, so it's all good.
Well, good luck being in the same room because my girlfriend, she said I was too loud and she left to the other room. So best of luck, best of luck, Eric. I don't know. You. My callouts are always like extremely loud and annoying, so I don't blame her. But yes, congratulations on the win. And yes, you guys are looking fantastic.
Thank you very much, and thanks for having me.
Hey, all we need is Brian Rizzo, and we got ourselves a party.
Yeah, we got the whole reunion going on here. But either way, what we just saw was a very convincing Envy win. They're our #1 team. They're still proving why they are, and this is a scary team. I cannot wait to see how they stack up, and once we see the actual finals event happen and how that one's going to play out, because Splice has got a lot of work to do if they're going to have a repeat performance, especially against the likes of Liquid, Optic, and Envy here. So, of course, if you like what you see and you want to know how you can participate and compete, find your way into the Pro League, make sure you head over to halo.gg and you can find all the information about competing in the open circuit. Now, that does it for our third match of the night. We've got one left between some of the biggest orgs we have here in Halo. That's Evil Geniuses versus Team Liquid, and that's coming up right after this.